Yeah.
Why do you love it?
It's definitely like the classic, escape from reality, and lately more than ever, the world is being very harsh. And it's just lovely for 2 hours or for the hour of the show that you're watching that you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, sure.
You don't think about it. So I really love being a part of the fantasy, the outlet,
Nice.
like I bring up this story always when it comes to like why I do what I do. But back in 2019, I did my first stage show in Canberra at the Street Theatre.
Oh, yeah, cool.
It was called Fragments. So
Nice.
that was a big deal to me. It was my first like paid gig.
Yeah.
And it was a very heavy show. It was about, I think it was like 8 or 9 different young people and them navigating through high school. And the entire play was just monologues.
Yeah, right.
So we were always on stage at the same time, and it was all monologues, and so we all had a chance to shine. But my character was very much like the facade character. So he was like school captain, he was getting good grades and stuff, but on the inside he was quite depressed and everything. Okay. And so it was a very heavy character, and because it was like the whole macho versus the whole broken kid on the inside, I saw that someone left a review on the show, and they said, I brought my father to this. He's I think they said like 58-year-old fella. And after we watched the show, he turned to me and he goes, I've been struggling for a while now. And, this is just like help it brought to light. And so to be a part of the show, to change someone's perspective on it, even how they see themselves. I almost cried when I read it. I was like, that's amazing, man. I was always trying to chase the like sniffles in the crowd, so I'll have a quiet moment. Yeah. And then if someone's sniffling in that talk, I know I'm doing my job correctly. But yeah.
That's pretty rad. And I think similarly to that, I enjoy the idea of like someone getting something out of it.
Yeah.
You're like,
absolutely.
When you hear a laugh, you're like, oh, that was so
yeah,
good.
Man, yeah. Well, I'm also like a huge fan of professional wrestling.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
literally wearing a John Cena shirt right now. And I like to lean into that love with acting, because at the end of the day, sorry for the spoiler at home, it isn't real, or it's predetermined. Yeah, it's predetermined, but they're all just big muscly actors out there. And I think that out of most performers, they know how to communicate with the audience the most. Yeah. Because if something's going wrong, if the match is going horrible, you need to do something specific with your body, because you can't talk to them all, to sway the crowd and everything. Yeah. And so I really like to think that it is your job to communicate to the crowd. There's no director, no camera, no nothing. It's going straight through to the people sitting down. And to get something out of it, or to give something from that, that's top tier. Right. It's amazing. Yeah.
How do you, 2 questions. Yep. I'll start with the first one. How is that why you went to LA to do stunt training for wrestling? Or is that,
that's a good question. Thank you. At the time we went to LA, I went with my agent. She picked up about 10 of us, and obviously we had to pay for our way to get there, but it was just getting to do like a week's full of workshops with some pretty cool people, and like learning about things that you normally wouldn't, like stunt training and mocap training and stuff like that.
What's that last one?
A mocap training, like big blue people in Avatar.
Oh, sure.
So, like motion capture. Look at me using the lingo like I'm some guy. But that was an amazing experience, and I learned a lot in acting through going to LA and hanging out. But I originally wasn't going to do the stunt course because we all did like a little like briefing, and that was included of our package. But as soon as he was with us and he showed us what he could do with other actors, I remember he showed us McKenna Grace. Yeah. He did some work with her, and she is this very small girl, and he made her look so badass, so fucking strong. And so everyone was really like taken aback by it and was like, well, we know that we can't get this at home. So spend the extra dollars and you go to do it. But I wasn't going to do it because I was nursing a ACL tear. I had a surgery for it and everything. And I was nervous. I was like, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it at my 100% peak. And but as the week went on and more of the people went and did it, and I saw it, I was like, oh my God, as if I'm not going to do that. So that was an amazing experience. It was really crazy too, because it was just myself, Daniel, who was the man I was fighting, who was training us, and a camera guy on an iPhone, and that's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and like with every punch that you would do, the cameraman guy knew how to make it like you were hiding everything, and it all was done in 2 hours. Like you go, you train, and then you leave, and then you've got this like 3-minute show reel. So I was very happy with that.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Did you find any of that kind of training and understanding like your body and physicality helped you then to like have better stage presence, better presence on film?
I definitely think it definitely lent itself to the more intense moments. The biggest thing that I remember from that day was how much my forearms hurt.
Yeah, right.
And it was because you want to look believable, and so Daniel's like, clench those fists, and you're throwing them. And I'm not a fighter, and obviously you can tell by doing that. But I do work out, and so I know what it's like to hurt. But that was like a different feeling. Like my arms, they were just so sore because it was a lot of tense, and you're throwing it, and you're making sure you're not hitting them or anything. But yeah, I think with the stunt training and how sporadic and how big the movements you have to make, it made me realize how still I can be in the quieter moments.
Yeah, sure.
I saw a really cool, and you know, what I do most of the time is look at actors' reels on Instagram and stuff. And I think it was Tom Hardy talking about the weight of stillness in a film.
Seen that one.
You've seen that one?
Yeah,
no?
same.
Very good. We've got the same For You page, surely. But I thought that was really cool, and I made a mental note to try and incorporate that into work and stuff, because it's just another level of like stoicism. Yeah. To be able to hold such a space and be completely still, and then the audience eyes are just like lingering towards you. Like, why is he so still? What is this presence? So
you can really capture attention with stillness. And then what I find on like, especially on stage and improv, is that after that silence, whatever is said or done is super important. Yeah. And it's so weighted.
So much weight. Yeah, I completely agree.
And then the audience can kind of put all their assumptions and things
what's going to happen,
that.
Edge of the seat kind of feeling. Yeah, it's great. So definitely learning about the bigness and the motion that you have to do, and then just essentially taking the lessons I learned from that and incorporating it completely opposite in the still moments. Because I don't do a whole lot of stunt stuff in the like short films I get to do and everything like that. But you know, it will come.
Yeah, you've done heaps of short films.
Yes.
And also some pretty big NCIS.
Yes,
Austin.
that was.
And then Cooked also. You kind of led that whole film as like the lead.
That was a crazy experience as well, because we were just out of COVID, or barely out of COVID. Like, I think it was right after the first wave, and I was on my my lovely friend Star Now, just swiping away and looking, and the call was looking for 7 to 8 young men to play a group of friends in a coming of age film. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty exciting, you know? And so I put it in, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And the director, writer, was based in Newcastle, so it was a bunch of Zooms. And so I did my Zoom. I originally auditioned for the best friend role. I thought I really liked his, like, he was a very dual character of full of boys, but he had a heart of gold and everything. So I liked that. I liked the difference. And so I was lucky enough to be cast. I was very happy and excited, because it's just sounded like something that hasn't happened besides Heartbreak High. Not a lot of coming of age in Australia. Like, I thought that was like a really cool idea, like, because you have going on way back, you got the breakfast clubs and the stuff like that in America, and how the Americans grew up. And so I thought that to get Australiana in it, no better place than Nui. So that was pretty amazing. But I think it was only a couple of months out. It was a couple of months out from the first primary shoot. And the bloke that was originally casted in my role he got accepted into NIDA, which is super exciting. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, happy for you. And so he ultimately decided to pull out of the film. And I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm sure there was plenty of people in the list ready to be casted and everything. And then a couple of days later, I got my acceptance for Whopper.
Okay.
And I was like, sweet. Oh, well, I guess I'm ditching this as well.
Yeah.
And before I could respond to Whopper, I got a text from Cam saying, Cam is the director, writer, that he wanted me to play the lead role. And I was like, that's really bizarre because the role was based on him. Like everyone was based on all of himself and all of his friends.
Sure.
And so he asked me to play the lead role, and then there's a difference. Then it's a little different from pulling out being the best friend.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And obviously, you know, more lines, more exposure. The character was very sweet and a lot softer, so it would have been a different kind of challenge. But I was still in two minds. I didn't know if I wanted to go to school because I have a couple of mates who've been to Whopper and they've learned so much and stuff. But on the other hand, this is a film. Yeah. And I remember speaking to my dad, and he is a bus driver, never worked a day in the industry, but he turned around and he goes, so you want to go to this school to be in movies? And I go, yeah. And he goes, so go be in a movie. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, I know, right? It's so funny what you don't know when you don't know.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the whole industry, right?
Yeah, dude.
You rock up thinking you know one thing, and it's like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know anything. But yeah, exactly. That's that yes and mentality. But it was an amazing experience. It was very much like a group of friends coming together, making a film together.
Yeah. Okay.
Because they had all of us boys in his boy group all stay in a hostel together.
Okay, cool.
So we just chopped it up and by the end of it we were best mates, and it was a lot of fun, and you know, we were flying in and out from Newcastle, and it had that air of like, this is something. You know, this is something people are going to watch it. Hopefully people will enjoy it, and it's on Apple TV right now, $7.99. I love that experience, and I always have to thank my father for kicking me in the right direction. That's sure.
Cool. I watched a bit of it, and there was this scene, and I think you're about to cook dinner. And I was like, having not met you before, I was like, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Like that's because you were so authentic, so real.
Oh, dude, thank you.
I was like, oh, that just must be like him at his heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
and then
that's so sweet.
It was nice to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I also like got this little hint of maybe like your heritage played a bit into that role of like
Colin and Ma?
Yeah.
That's my the Italianness in me and stuff. My mother is Indian Fijian, so when I call out Ma, they don't expect to see a brown lady. Ethan aside, the character aside, I always truly believe, like I said to you before, that your character is you. It's just in this situation. So for me, thinking of Ethan, I knew that he was the glue that held the friendship together, but I also knew that he was reluctantly the butt of the joke. And so I was like, so how would Zane feel in this situation to be the most important part of the group, but also to everyone else the least? And there was a bit more angst within myself, and I wouldn't be more as open as I was, but he was very similar to me. Just, I think the hardest part, and I joked about it on set, was not being able to scull a beer. I had to fake that, so that wasn't easy. I did a lot of practice in high school, man, to make sure that I could scull a beer. So I had to spit it out and spit it all over everyone else. But it was a hugely amazing opportunity, and
what were some of the key kind of things you walked away with, like lessons wise around like being on set in a film, character development, and then like maintaining that kind of character arc as well?
That's a great question. It was very, how would I put it? Leading up to it, because it was the first feature film, I guess you could say I was in, let alone leading it, and there was a lot of nerves. Like I was incredibly nervous. We were given the entire script, so you were kind of like expected to just learn on your own and stuff like that, being all separated. But then I learned my lines and everything, and I was super nervous, and we got there on the first day, and it was only a couple of the boys. We were filming a school scene, and just the way that Cam directed, and he's a very young guy, he's my age, so like it was incredibly impressive from him to save up the money to write this script, and everything was based on his life. So it was very like Superbad-esque like that. So the thing that I definitely took away was as the actors say, do the work, you memorize your lines, but then you don't know anything. Because the director could be having a great day and he could like go, you're doing amazing, yada yada. Or he could have had a crap sleep the night before, and he's asked you for like 11 takes of the same thing, and you can't do any more. But I always think about the privilege of just being in something. And being able to do what you want to do, and people are like, yes, I want you to do what you love in my thing. And you know, that goes beyond like pay and fame and everything. It's collaboration. And so I think, the biggest thing that I learned in there was, do the work and then forget about it. Because I think the best moments are always caught on accident.
I think like once you are working through the scenes and the character, like, it kind of explodes a bit more once you hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And I, yet again, very lucky. I got to spend a lot of time with Cam, and I knew who he was by the time we were a couple of days into filming. And I was playing him. So the only people that I needed to convince that I was doing a good job wasn't my other actor, other co-stars or anything, but it was his family and his mum and his dad, because even though, I don't know if you've seen a photo, we look completely different. I have this Italian-esqueness, and he is a very tall, slender, beachy, blonde boy. So that's why at first when I got asked to play the role, I was kind of taken aback. But I don't like to brag, but his mum and dad were just blown away. They were like, I can't believe that you were so much like him, that to the point you said something and I turned around and I expected it to be Cam.
Oh wow!
And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, now you just blown smoke up my ass. Like, So that's an amazing thing in itself. And I think it's kind of like, I saw something about the American kids winning the golden medal. Sorry to take it off course a little bit. They were very, in their interviews, they were very like, don't forget to have fun. Like, we're training to be the elite level, top of the level, and they're like, but don't forget to have fun and live your life and everything. And so as soon as I started having fun on that set, everything just started making sense. And I hope Cam doesn't see this and is upset, but I almost felt like I wasn't even trying. You know, I was there, and I just knew what to do. The support and the cast was amazing. So it was just great vibes all around, and it didn't feel like work. You know, you just go in and you just fuck around for like a day, and then you do it all over again, and then you go home and you come back a couple of weeks later, you get to see all your good mates. It was really good.
There was a nice little analogy in there, which has lost me now. We'll come back, I'm sure, to it. But so contrast that with something like NCIS, which is like fast production.
Dude,
do you want to take us through like the comparables between them?
Absolutely. I said I was very nervous for Cooked, and that was a very big build-up. But the nerves that I had for NCIS Sydney, I've never had, ever. Like that, I will never forget the day of going in there. So being a Canberra actor, I've been with my agent for a long time. She's looked after me, but ever since the start, when I signed with her back when, she said, I want to represent you as a Sydney actor. Nothing's coming to Canberra, all that jazz and stuff like that. And so to Sydney casting directors, I am from Sydney. So it's really easy for me to get in there tomorrow and do the audition or whatever. So the toughest part is that they asked me to come to Sydney, and little do they know I was in Canberra. They asked me to come for a haircut. And then I went home back to Canberra, and then a couple of weeks later they did a costume test. And I was like, okay, so I go out there, come home. And then I went for the shoot, and then it got rained out, so I went home. And then I finally came out. And so I think because over the course of like probably a month, I had something to do with it. that it built up all of this anticipation. I was like, they've put in all of this work in for me. And I'm Sergeant Ethan Watts, who has 50 words or whatever. Yeah. So just imagine like all the stuff they put into like their big things. And so it just, it started getting to me. I get to Sydney. I was at, where was I? Oh, I was doing an AIE film that I was really passionate about. I love working with AIE. I think because they have the best setup, obviously, in Canberra for that level of technology and stuff. And the kids are just, the kids that go to the school are kids. So they have so much wonder and they want to push the boundaries and they want to be big and they want to do things that they usually can't. So it's really exciting and it's really refreshing to go into a place like that. So I did their major project, but the next day I had to be in Sydney to film NCIS. So shout out to Dan Sigwinetti, who drove me to Sydney that night after we finished filming. So he really helped me out there. But I stayed at my mate's place, and I remember I was in the Uber, and a bit of TMI, but I'm a sweater. I run pretty hot.
Same.
God. Oh, when the nerves get kicked in, oh God. So I will never forget the wet I had down my shirt, just because I was stressed. I was in the Uber, and I was heading there. And obviously you don't want to be late and you don't want to screw up. And this is the first time that I would be on set as a featured character doing something. And I had to, so I got dropped off and it was a huge walk to set. So I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I call my mum? I was like, no, she'll be at work. I felt very alone within that area. But I put on, I think his name is Aloe Black, I'm the Man song. Repeated it just the entire way, and I put it on my headphones, and it wasn't helping, but it was I was still incredibly nervous, but there was a sense of they chose you, go in and do your thing. I finally got there, and everyone was so lovely. I don't know if it is just America or if it's in the higher levels where it's really scary and intimidating and people don't want you to succeed and everything like that, but that just wasn't the case on NCIS, which was really nice. My scene was with two of the main characters and they were so cool. I forgot his real name now, but Deshaun in the show, he stuck to me, which was really interesting. We had this scene and I was, like I said, it was 50 words, but him and I were really close and he was talking to me the entire time and he was telling me how great I was doing and stuff like that. And I just wasn't expecting such support on that day. And I was, being humble and I was thanking him and everything. He goes, dude, just thank me when you're here. When you come back, this will be fine. He changed my entire aura that day. And I don't know if that even, if he even remembers that now. It was just another day at work for him. So yeah, he was really great. But I was lucky enough to, once the scene was done, I'll be honest, it took a while to do my scene, which was really nerve-wracking.
Why? What was the
It was an odd one. So the scene, essentially, the two detectives rush in to me where I'm the guard of an army cell. So when the Marines are being naughty, they'll get put in army jail. So I'm waiting there, and there's meant to be someone in there, and I was American as well, which is always fun, a bit of an accent. But she goes, I can't remember what she says specifically, but she's like, "Where's this guy?" And I go, "Oh, I don't know, I think he's out." And then she interrupts me. And then I give a look yeah, you're right. And then they rush out of the room. And so in everything I've ever done, short film, in Cooked, on stage, you always just keep talking until they stop you, like the other actor. It's the other actor's job, usually, to jump in and go, and then it stops you. And so it doesn't sound like you're pausing, and waiting for it, because that's definitely not natural. But the director, he was very specific, and he wanted me to cut myself off, which was weird. But the script said, where I cut off. So I was like, cool, I'll just stop talking then. And so I would do it, and then she would jump in, and then he'd go, cut, do it again. And I was like, crap. And so then the nerves start really building up, because not only like are you in here, like the camera's on you, it's your take, and like, what are you doing? But yet again, I was very lucky that like I looked at the other actors, and they're like, don't worry about it. You know, and they say every director is different. And obviously they've worked with so many over the course of the series and stuff. And so, it was really nerve-wracking. But we got there in the end because he goes, you know what, Zane? Just let her cut you off. And I'm like, yeah, sweet, let's do it. Yeah, I know, dude. But no, that was his great idea. And that's it. That's all it is. But we did that once, which was hilarious, where I say my line, she cuts me off, and then it was done. So you could have saved at least 15 minutes shooting. But it was a great experience. I got back in the Uber, and then I have this acting friend in Sydney who's he's quite successful in the commercial game. And he's been in a fair few movies. So he's definitely like someone to talk to when you're not sure about the industry, because he's just been there for ages. And he called me out of the blue, and he goes, I heard you're on set today. And I go, yeah. And he goes, how'd it go? And then I gushed about how amazing it was and everything. And he goes, this is it, dude. This is the feeling that you'll be chasing for the rest of your life. When you know that you went there and you did a good job, and everyone was happy, and now you're happy, and this is fulfillment. This is why you do what you do. And I was like, oh, Ron. I was like, this phone call has made it even better.
I wanted to chat to you about accents.
Yeah, there you go.
And how you kind of, because I think you got to have like an American accent. Right?
Most important accent to have.
Generalized American accent.
What do they say? Midwestern. Midwestern American.
Did you like get training? Did you practice on anything? How do you go about like?
Because I only started to want to be an actor from year 12 in college. Like that was when it started. But there was always like little things that make sense now. And one of them was my favorite video game in high school was Call of Duty Zombies. And they had 4 characters in there, and each of them had different accents. So there was an American, there was a German, a Russian, and a Japanese man. I never attempted the Japanese man, because why would you? But the other 3, they say voice lines. You kill a zombie, and one of them says something or other. And
well done, or something.
It was just like, what's a good one that isn't too crude? It was so crude back in the day, these video games. But it was just like, they would just exclaim something. And it was an American man, a German man, and a Russian man. And I always would like, just copy it, because, I'm in the game, I'm having fun. And then, that like, it was just mimicry at the end of it. And so the Russian accent I was always like really comfortable with because of Nikolai, and voices have really come, like vocal changing and everything has come pretty easily to me. Don't know why, just always has. I think maybe because I was doing voices from a young age. But coming to American, we did do a small class when we were over in LA, which was great. But there's only one piece of training that I've ever had for my American accent, and it's a little drop line that Hugh Jackman says.
Oh, I saw that on the Late Show or something, was he?
He goes, now, because I practiced this so much before going to LA. It was like, how many times have you asked Sam whether or not his daughter's learning disorder was caused by genetic abnormality? And so it just hits everything. And then you remember how your mouth feels and how your throat feels, because that's all it is like moving things up and back and around, because all these accents we use our mouths differently. So thank God for Hugh Jackman, and thank God yet again for the Instagram For You page, man, because it saved my ass. So that's essentially that's it, and then just practicing like on your own. Or I don't ever really like to. Sometimes my friends go, "Oh, you should order this in American," and I'm like, because sometimes it won't be that good, and so then the server knows that you're fucking with them, and I don't want to ruin anyone's day.
You don't want to spit in your food.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Man, I come here to pay for the schnitzel. I just want schnitzel, not.
I find like I have a 14-month-old, so I find reading like kids' books and trying accents,
and doing voices
is really
and stuff.
Cool, because they're not like super complex sentences or like big words, but they're enough to try to like play around with articulation.
That sounds like a great tool, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. If you pick up an Elmo book or a Dr. Seuss and you try and do it in a different accent, you should copy mark that. You should trademark that idea, man, and start selling it.
I'll start an app.
Yeah, an app, perfect. So you can teach, you can read to your kids and work on your accent. I love that, yeah. I was very lucky on NCIS that I did have someone that was a dialect coach.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, your audition was great. There's one part that we need to work on. So about for 15 minutes before the scene, just to add to the nerves, of course.
Of course.
It was because one of the words in the sentence was Tipalora, which is an Australian last name.
Okay.
So I was having trouble sounding like an American saying, and I think it was an Indigenous last name. Sure. So I was just struggling with that. But we got there in the end, and she was incredibly lovely. Nice. But not much work besides video games and just practicing.
There you go. Yeah. Video games aren't all bad.
Oh, dude, video games will save the bloody world if you let it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so you mentioned some stage work and film work. Yeah. Is there one that you're drawn to, or maybe you're drawn to both, you probably would, but for different reasons or different kind of feelings that you get?
I haven't done, if we're like weighing it out side by side, I've done a lot more screen than I have stage. But every time I've been on stage, I've loved it. Like, it's so amazing. But I'm very, it's a way that I don't like to be, but I like nailing it and moving on.
Yeah. Okay.
So in theatre, obviously, that's the beauty of it, is you get to do it again, and then the little things change and everything. But for me, I like to go in and nail it and see how it looks. And if I don't like it, we can go from there. But I think the biggest thing is, when I did do fragments in 2019, I always had one note, and it was make it bigger.
Yeah.
So I would be doing all my things and the crying and the sadness, but I was doing it all here because I was so used to the camera being here. But Shelley was like, more 11, and I'm like, hey, that's a good point. And crying out here. No. So I, at the end of it, I do believe that the reason why I like screen better is because it's the subtle, the close, the like almost blink and you'll miss it kind of things. And yeah, the quieter moments. And you can absolutely have that in theatre, and you know, they can be even more powerful than screen. But for me personally, I really enjoy getting in there, getting in front of the camera, and you know, it's just a little bit more maybe controlled, you know, without an actual audience there. I still love stage though, and I still think it's amazing, but I'm definitely a screen actor, I guess. Sure. Yeah.
Do you, like, when you've finished a film or a screen thing, do you go back and watch it?
It's pretty hard to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sucks.
It does, doesn't it, dude?
Because Pete's like, oh, can you watch this? I'm like, no.
No, please don't. Yeah, dude, I know it's good. Yeah, it's something that it's weird, because if I feel like if I'm enjoying it, then I'm like, why are you enjoying this? This is you. Yeah. Like, you're not meant to. So going to the Cooked premiere was fascinating. Yeah. So I filmed Cook in like 2020, and it only came out last year. So that was real, like 4 years in the making, and it was like all this hype, and I'm a different actor now, and stuff like that. And so I got in there, and I started watching it, and it was me, but it was me 4 years ago. So that, I think, that helped with watching the entire film. Yeah, sure. Is that I'm looking at this person, and I know that's me, and I know what I'm feeling, but it's also very different. Like, a lot can happen in 4 years. A lot can happen in a week. Yeah. So I definitely could sit there and not cringe the entire time. Cool. I'm just like, oh yeah, there you go. I do remember that, and stuff like that. And, but when it comes to like self-tapes and stuff, I'm like, can you?
They're the worst.
Is it good? Yeah. Like, I don't want to see. You just tell me if it's good. Don't enjoy it. But you know, it's just a part of it. You know, I actually saw that apparently Matthew McConaughey only watches his own films once.
Get off my feet,
dude, we're the same, man.
I got that same. It was like Timothy Chalamet,
and he can't believe it, which is fair, because it's.
You've only seen Interstellar.
It's Interstellar. It's crazy. Yeah, no, he just didn't believe him either. But yeah, I think I've always thought that when you put out your art, it's no longer yours. Yeah. So, you put out a movie, put out a short film, even if I'm just an actor in it, it's just no longer mine. It's everyone else's, and they dictate how they feel, and that's the best part, is that none of them are all going to agree.
Yeah, I had this nice analogy in one of our other episodes where saying kind of thing where it's like my philosophy, motto, approach to it is like I can be emotionally invested.
Yeah.
But not emotionally attached to the outcome.
Yeah,
and
that's
for
huge.
me, that was like a really nice kind of, I can actually separate myself from doing a really good job, being happy with it, and then it doing what it needs to do externally from me.
That's great. You're teaching me stuff today.
There you go.
I appreciate it, man. No, that's lovely. I do love that. That makes a lot of sense too. Because it's, in this industry, all it is about longevity and protecting yourself.
Yeah.
It's such a harsh industry.
It is. And so much room for self-doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Which is tough.
Yeah, it is. We, referencing LA again, we spoke to, I don't know what he was exactly, like in the industry, but he was a very eccentric man who would just talk about the vulture on your shoulder.
Okay.
And it's just that voice in your head that tells you, it's like, you can't do this, you can't do this, you don't need this, you don't want this, you're not good enough, and stuff like that. And you'll forever just be battling that. And it's normal to have that.
Yeah.
This doubt and everything. I've had pockets of time where I'm like, I don't even know if I'm that good.
Yeah.
You know, and it being such a cutthroat industry, and how everybody would just love to be a movie star, or some capacity like that, expressing themselves on screen. You have to remind yourself that you are only you, and what you can do is what you can do.
Yeah.
No one else can do what you can do. So you remember your individuality, and you remember that you are meant to be on your side.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that's just when it gets lost.
Kind of goes back to the start where you said your brother yelled out, "Be you."
Yeah, broski. Yeah, both so good. He always manages, before every acting thing I do, he will always send me a pretty decent blurb just about, it's just like a confidence booster. And I don't tell him to, and he knows I'm a very confident guy, but like he will always say, you're setting the bar, mate, go do what you need to, go be you. He always says that. So sometimes I think a lot of people don't make it into the industry because they don't have it, but I'm starting to think a lot of people don't make it into the industry because they don't have a brother like me. Because that kid he's gonna help me get so far. Nice. He just sees everything that I don't see within myself. So I'm very lucky to have him around. Yeah. But
beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah, step away from the acting. I do believe that siblings, they're the closest thing to you, especially if you both grew up in the same household. You'll grow up together and you'll experience life very similarly. Cut that. But so I'm just very thankful for him, and he helps me out a lot.
If you had to think like 5-10 years from now, manifesting like the best dream role, gig, what would it be? There's like the actor in me, there's two actors. There's the actor that grew up loving, and still loving Spider-Man and superheroes, Marvel, like the superhero character. And then there's the other one that's like a little bit more snooty and a little bit snobby, where it's like, do the good work. Don't worry about all this green screen. Yeah. So, but in saying that, I've always given myself 3 goals, achievable, unachievable, it doesn't matter. And they're like far away. So I just know that if life is kind to me, that they will wind up being here. One of them is just being sustainable of acting and being able to live and have a family and support my people, even if it's not big screen stuff. If I get to like be a regular on Neighbours or anything, just anything that would be sustainable, so then I don't have to not act anymore. So that's one of them. One of them's the Oscar, obvious. Everyone, I think it'd be amazing to win one. I'll be honest though, the older I get, the more I kind of see through the veil of award shows and stuff. But still,
follow up
like
Heath Ledger?
Any kind of award is a nice recognition of like amongst your peers. I did something good.
Absolutely. But the third and the final one is to be Batman. So that would be amazing. I think being a huge fan and watching all the movies and all the reading all the comics and stuff, I am very realistic. I think I'm a little too old now and a little too broad to be Spider-Man, and I'm not American, and my olive skin is a bit too dark for Captain America, but I've seen Batmans that look like me. So that would be amazing. I don't want them to keep rebooting the same characters all the time, but to be the first Australian Batman would be pretty unreal.
That would be right.
Yeah. I know I'm not the only one. I've met other actors who go, no, but I want to be Batman.
I always loved Wolverine growing up. I always wanted to be like Wolverine.
Yeah, man. Oh, Hugh Jackman. Speaking of him again, he's got to come up. But I just think superheroes are like things that we should strive for.
Yeah.
I was watching like an archetype thing, and it's explaining about all the different archetype of hero. Like there's the nomad, where the challenge is thrusted upon them and they go to save the world, a la Harry Potter and stuff like that. But then they talk about the paragon, which is the hero that doesn't seek it, but once it's there, they don't go out hunting for it, but they go out looking out for everyone else. And I just think that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
The Supermans, the Optimus Primes, the Captain Americas, the people that we should look up to, because I truly do believe that the strongest thing in the world is love.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
Sorry to get a bit touchy and emotional there, my friend.
That's good. I think so too. If we all strive to be a superhero in like everything that we do,
well, it would be a beautiful place.
It'd be beautiful.
Yeah. Thinking of others, all that empathy and all that. But this is the real world. So we'll try to be as much superhero as much as we can.
Well, I can't wait to see you as Batman.
Oh, dude.
And to be up there with your Oscar.
Oh, man. Batman for the Oscar would be wild.
That would be like a good win.
Yeah, I mean, I could follow Heath's footsteps.
Yeah.
Be in a Batman movie, win the Oscar.
That's true, but stay alive.
Yeah, that's the goal, always. Got to stay alive.
All right, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, dude.
Awesome
I appreciate
talking.
it. You can shake my hand, man. That was so much fun, Heath.
So
Thank you so much.
Cool, thank you.
Alrighty, well, there you go.